Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I know. Let's just, not talk about it, okay? But I am back with a new tutorial. Today I'm going to be trying out a lot of new products for you guys that I'm really excited to try out. Most of it is new, or some of it is something that maybe has been out for a while, but I just haven't tried it yet. And then of course I have like my go-tos that I'm so excited to try as well, with everything combined, since I didn't really have a replaceable item for that particular product that I'm going to be using with all the new stuff. So yeah, I'm super excited to try everything together. So let's get started. So today I'm going to be doing a kind of everyday glam look, nothing crazy, just because I am going to work after I film this. And I also want to try new things and just keep it like low-key and simple. But I'm going to be starting with the Trixie Cosmetics First Base Priming Spray. I have not tried a priming spray before, so I'm super excited to try this out. And a little bit about this product: it is an 8-hour wear priming spray, retails for $18, soothes, hydrates, minimize redness, vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free, D5-free, alcohol-free. They also have a setting spray that I will be trying at the end, which is their all the way natural finish setting spray, which also is pretty much the same thing, has all the same benefits, all the same things as the priming spray, and retails again for $18. But the difference is, of course, that this is a setting spray and not so much a priming spray. So starting with the Trixie Cosmetics First Base Priming Spray, I have done all my skincare. I don't have any primer on my skin right now, so just going straight in after a clean moisturized face with this priming spray. Just gonna spray it pretty much all over my face. And I'm just gonna let that dry down into the skin. Next, I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. Cosmetics Power Grip Primer. This retails for $10. This is an older product, but such a good product. And it is a gel-based hydrating primer that grips makeup and smooths skin. Long-lasting, natural dewy finish. Good for all skin types. I feel like I never educate you guys on the product itself. I literally just like, oh, I'm gonna use this, oh, I'm gonna use that. I never tell you like the prices or like anything about the product itself that much, besides like, oh, maybe I'll say like, oh, this is a matte finish, but I never go into detail. So I kind of wrote down all my notes of each product so that you guys can like be like, this is for me or not, but yeah. I'm gonna be using this product next, just to add a little bit of reassurance to my face, to really have something that grips the skin. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the new Benefit Cosmetics, the Porefessional Foundation. This retails for $47. It is a smoothing and blurring matte foundation with niacinamide, long wear, medium coverage, and blurs pores. They did send me 3 different shades. They sent me 23W Magnificent. They also sent me 24W Power, and they sent 26C Hero. So let's swatch and see which one I would prefer. Going in, this is the shade 23W. Right off the bat, it is too light for my skin tone, so I'm gonna go in now with 24W. This is 24W. I feel like 24W is obviously a little bit better because it is a little bit darker, but let's see what 26C is gonna give. Now that is 26C. I'm gonna go in with 26C just because I feel like it's closer to my skin tone. It is a little bit warmer, like pinky, reddish pinky, so I'm kind of concerned about that. I feel like I would prefer something more neutral rather, but I really want to try this foundation, so I don't know. I think I might actually just mix 26C and 24W together, because I don't know, separately I'm like not really feeling them, but like together maybe it'll look better. And I'm actually going to do my brows at the end. I don't know if you guys can see or tell, but my brows are not done at all, which is totally fine. I've been growing out my brows for like the last 2 weeks. I've been really wanting to kind of just do that like natural fluffy brow look for a long time now, and I just don't care for that like ugly brow stage once they're in between kind of the growing out stage. but once they're fully grown out, I feel like it's gonna look so cute, and I might clean it up a little bit, but not as much as I used to. To apply the Benefit Cosmetics foundation, I'm gonna be using this It Cosmetics number 7 brush. I'm gonna be mixing the two shades 26C and 24W together to hopefully get a more precise match for me. I'm not sure if they have other shades that maybe would look better on me, but yes, I'm gonna just go in with this shade. I feel like, again, I still want something a little bit more neutral. I feel like it does look a little bit warmer on me, like golden, and I kind of prefer to look a little bit more neutral, but I feel like I can make this work for sure. It did say that it's more of a medium coverage, which I can kind of tell, like I can tell it's not super full, but honestly, it's definitely has more coverage than I expected for it to be medium. So I actually like the way it looks so far. I feel like, let's see if I can try to build it up a little bit. I'm just gonna blend this down the neck and onto the ear. Okay, honestly, for this to be medium coverage, I'm actually really impressed. To me, I feel like this looks like what most full foundations look like. I feel like most full foundations, they say that they're full, but they're not like full. I feel like I've worn a lot of makeup, and maybe my full coverage is like extra full coverage and not your typical full coverage. But to me, this looks like full coverage more than medium, or it's just like a nice buildable coverage. Like, you definitely could sheer it out if you want and then build it up to full, I feel. So to me, I feel like this foundation is more medium to full. Now for concealers, I'm gonna be starting out with this concealer by Liss. This is Liss Beauty's Triple Flex Full Coverage Concealer, and I have the shade MN3. This is a really brightening shade for me, so definitely use a shade that you prefer if you don't like to use something too bright. But I'm just going to add this under the eye here and above the lip, on the forehead, and on the chin. I'm gonna let the concealer sit while I do some cream contouring and sculpting. So to do that, I'm gonna be using the Morphe Shapelifter Micro Contour Sticks. Also, really quick, I forgot to mention this product and all the deets. So this is the Liss Beauty Triple Fix Concealer in the shade MN3. It retails for $20, and it is a full coverage brightening concealer with a skin-like finish. These retail for $13. They are supposed to give a precise sculpt, and they're long wearing. They're very pigmented, so let's get into the shades. It does come with 7 shades, but I'm gonna go in with this shade called Sculpted, which I did already swatch a little bit right there, and I could tell I'm gonna like this shade. So I'm just going to kind of put it exactly where I would want it, right along the cheekbone there, and then I'm also going to put some along my hairline. To blend it out, I'm going to be using this Sephora 56 brush, and I'm just going to tap that into the skin, and it blends out effortlessly. I barely did anything, like it already looks super blended. This color is definitely more of a subtle approach for me. Like, I probably could definitely get away with the shade Sharpened as well if I wanted it to be a little bit more dramatic. But for today, I definitely want just a soft kind of approach to cream contouring. So this is like everything that I'll need for that. Super pretty. I love the way that looks so far. I'm gonna layer it a bit and add just a little bit more. I didn't want to go too heavy-handed, but now that I kind of see what this color is giving, I definitely want to go a little bit more heavy-handed with this. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. And yeah, it's blending so smoothly, and it's definitely buildable. Like, it definitely looked softer at first, but now it's kind of building up in pigment. I also love how creamy these sticks are. They're super creamy and glide onto the skin really nicely. I feel like sometimes applying product directly to the skin can be annoying if it's just kind of dragging the product that's underneath it, or it works better on the back of your hand. So this is really nice for you to just easily glide on top of whatever foundation or product you have underneath it. Now taking the sculpt stick, I'm just going to kind of place it along the sides of my nose. I'm not gonna be too particular, honestly, but this is kind of like where I would prefer my cream contour to be. Then taking the Sephora brush, I'm just going to blend this out. You definitely could take a smaller brush. I'm just used to using this brush and I'm really not super picky, but I'm just going to take it along the sides of my nose and a little bit upward into my brow. Next, I'm gonna be using this Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush in the shade Grateful. This retails for $25. It is a true red with a dewy finish. It's long lasting and pigmented. I have tried this one before and I really love the shade. I'm not really into reds a lot, but I still really like this one. I also have not tried the Grateful Matte Bouncy Blush, which is the matching powder blush for the liquid, but I like want to, so that's why I'm trying these two together since they are matching. But yeah, I'm gonna go in with this and I'm just gonna go in with like 3 dots just to start off in a subtle approach. I'm gonna be using this Morphe M202 brush to blend out this liquid blush by Rare Beauty. And just a little tip, if I know that I'm using a clean brush to blend out a product that's on my face, I will first grab it on the back of my hand because I personally like when there's already product on the brush. Sometimes it just makes it easier for the product to blend out, and also so it's not lifting anything that's underneath the product that's there on your face. It's kind of just adding to your face instead. So I'm just going to softly add this on my brush, thin it out, and then tap the blush. I'm actually gonna add maybe like 2 more dots, mainly focusing it in the center right here. That is so pretty. I'm also gonna add concealer. So the concealer is definitely going to kind of wash it out a little bit towards this way, so I'm not even worried about it being too much because I'm still gonna add another layer of concealer afterwards. Like, this just gives high fashion editorial blush right here. It gives like Pat McGrath, you know what I'm saying? It gives Vanessa Myricks. Next, going in with the e.l.f. Cosmetics 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This is a matte finish one. They have a hydrating one, but I personally like the matte one. And this is gonna be full coverage, retails for only $7. And that is still, it's like one of the, in my eyes, it's in my top 5, like in my top 5 concealers. So I'm gonna be using this today to also brighten under the eye here. This will also help me clean up the cream contour that I did earlier. I'm just gonna add it like right about here, but then it's also, you know, gonna brighten, clean up the cream contour, and kind of tone down the blush in the front here once I blend everything out. I'm also just gonna add a little bit here and maybe a little bit here as well, just to brighten up things since I feel like the foundation was kind of not really working all the way. And I still want to make sure that I don't look too dark or too golden, so just gonna add that there. I'm gonna let the concealer sit a little bit, and while that's sitting, I'm gonna be telling you a little bit about the powders that I'm gonna be using next. So to blend out the under eye and anywhere where I have put concealer, I'm gonna be using these 2 powders together. I'm gonna be going in first with the New Beauty Creations Pretty Pressed Setting Powder. I have the shade here, Barely Beige. It retails for $10. It's a matte finish, long wear, controls oil and reduces shine, vegan and cruelty free. So I'm gonna be using this today. They just came out with it. $10 I feel like is a steal for a pressed powder because I'm also gonna be using MAC, and MAC retails for $39. So definitely a difference in price, but I have used this, I wanna say, only once, and I really liked it. So I'm gonna be using it again today, and I feel like hopefully I'll still like it because I feel like, you know, it takes a few tries for you to know, okay, do I really like the product? But when I first tried it, I really liked it. This color is pretty bright, but I really like a bright under eye and a more dramatic finish, so that's why I'm gonna be using this today. And I like to layer this on first, and then after that I will put this on top, which is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I have the shade here, Peach Pie, and these powders retail for $39, and they're a matte luminous finish. This is one of my favorite products. Honestly, I know some of these prices are kind of scary. I'm the type of person that I might look at a price and be like, oh my gosh, like that's too much. But 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna buy it anyway if I really, really love the product and I feel like it's worth it, you know? So I feel like that's kind of what you have to kind of gauge. Of course, there are some products that are on the lower end of pricing and it works just as good, if not better, than the higher end. So I feel like you just have to find what works for you ultimately, if you're on a budget or if you are, you know, wanting to splurge a little bit. But yeah, let me stop rambling. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm gonna be using the MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation in the shade NC44. This retails for $39. It's 24-hour shine control, talc-free, and waterproof. This is their newer formula. I personally have not had a problem with the newer formula. I like their newer formula. Anything that MAC does, I feel like never disappoints. Like their product across the board are really good. Like they're one of those brands where like across the board, I would say even 100%, maybe 99% of their products are amazing. Like you just have to find what works for you. Obviously not everything works for everyone, but for the products that work for that people or that skin type, or, you know, MAC knows what it's doing. They know what they're doing. So I personally love MAC down. Okay, but yes, I'm gonna be using this to set the rest of my face. So anywhere where I have that Benefit foundation is where I'm gonna be setting, or is where I'm gonna be using this to set. So now I'm gonna go back in with the e.l.f. concealer. And again, I'm gonna put this on the back of my hand because like I said, I'm gonna be using a clean brush today. And I really, really don't want this clean brush to take away from my concealer. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of that e.l.f. concealer already on the brush. It doesn't need to be a ton of product on the brush. It could really be sheared out. I'm just gonna shear it out like this because getting that product into the brush just helps the product not lift off of your face. And I want a full coverage under eye. So I'm just gonna start at least with my forehead first. Then I'm gonna go in on the chin. Last but not least, I'm gonna go under the eye here, starting with the edges of the concealer. I'm just blurring this, mixing it into the blush a little bit. And look at that. That is just so pretty together, the way it flows. And I like to always, like no matter what I'm doing, whether it's cream contour or blush, I like to always go back and forth with the brushes because that's just how you create like the most perfect blend, is when you kind of look at it, go back and forth and create that perfect blend. If you kind of just blend with one brush like this concealer brush and don't go back in with this, I mean, I'm sure it can work, but I personally feel better when I do that because I feel like I get the most perfect blend that way, going back and forth. I'm gonna blend that out along the sides of my nose as well, kind of defining that cream contour a little bit. So pretty, so stunning. I love the way this looks. So now I'm going to set everything. I'm gonna start with these two powders that I mentioned earlier, the Beauty Creations and the Huda Beauty. I'm gonna be actually taking this out, making sure that it's ready to go so that I can hurry up and set everything right into place and not have to worry about taking it out. To set everything, I'm gonna be using the Real Techniques 402 brush. This is their setting brush. Love to use this, especially under the eye. It's such a perfect like under eye brush. Before I set that in place, I do like to make sure and go back in with my concealer brush. This is the Tarte. It's like a Tarte dual-ended brush. I like to make sure I'm not creasing before I set. And once I make sure, I kind of go in and set in place. And with this powder, you do have to keep moving because I feel like it does look kind of spooky scary if you kind of sit in the same place for too long. So I'm just gonna keep it moving, keep it pushing. Put this along the sides of my nose, blend it under the eye. But look at that, look how nice and brightening that is. And it's all gonna come together, I promise, but I love the way that this powder kind of brightens and looks under the eye. And now taking the Huda Beauty powder, I'm just gonna take that on the Powder Puff by Laura Mercier and just put that right on top, along the nose as well. Taking the Beauty Creations powder, I'm going to set the rest of those like concealer areas with this powder, just like softly setting it in place. and pretty much anywhere where I have put, you know, concealer. And I know it looks crazy right now, but we still have to add so many layers before it looks presentable, okay? Next, going in with the MAC Cosmetics Studio Fix powder in the shade NC44. I'm gonna be using this to set anywhere where I have foundation, which is the Benefit Cosmetics foundation, so anywhere around there. Also gonna blend that down the neck as well. And I'm also going to blend this powder along here, just so that there's a nice blend between the bright powder and the cream contour, that it's not like so harsh. So I'm gonna blend this right in between there, just so that it has like a nicer transition. Next, I'm gonna be using the Mercier Bronze Color Infusion in the shade 40 Riviera. This retails for $42. It has a 12-hour wear. It's smooth and has a blurred finish, and it is talc free. I absolutely love this product, you guys. I have used this a few times and I am obsessed. I love a good bronzer, and one that isn't so like chalky or muddy looking, and this one, it just glides so smoothly. It also has like this really glowy side, which you could easily use as a highlighter, like it's just like a soft highlighter, or if you blend the two together, you can have like a nice glowy bronze. Or if you're not into the glowy bronze, you can definitely just use the matte side alone and just have like a nice soft bronze. And I feel like this product is so versatile that you can use it on the eyes. You can use it in so many ways, and that's what I love about it. So even though it is $42, I feel like because it's versatile, you can definitely use it in other ways. So for this, I'm gonna be grabbing the Morphe M162 brush to apply this. You definitely don't need a huge brush, but I'm just gonna literally use like the end of it. I'm not gonna use the whole entire brush. I'm gonna swirl it all around because I do want the glowy part as well. And I'm just going to literally set that cream contour by Morphe that I applied earlier with this. This is just gonna give such a nice glow to the skin. And honestly, it gives a nice subtle glow. It doesn't give like a really, you know, harsh glow. So I really love it. It just applies so smoothly. Also going to apply it, of course, like right along here. I'm also going to grab another one in a lighter shade. This is the shade 30 Canes. I like to grab a lighter shade like this for my nose. I'm going to grab this Morphe R37 brush, and I like to grab a lighter shade because I feel like sometimes it's so easy to make things look a little too harsh with the darker shades. So the lighter shades just does the perfect amount. Blend this along the sides of my nose and kind of set that cream contour in place, and also like snatch my nose. Now I'm gonna finally use this Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Matte Bounce Blush in the shade Grateful. This retails for $27. It is water, sweat, humidity resistant, and it is a pigmented high performing blush. I've tried a few other shades of these and they are absolutely stunning. I love Rare Beauty blushes. Like, if it's one thing about me, like one product from Rare Beauty, well, I can name a few, but one that I really like are their blushes, whether it's liquid or powder. I just love their blushes. I also love their brow gel, which I am going to be using in this tutorial, so you'll see me use it. But I love their brow gel, especially if you want like a laminated brow look. That brow gel is like top tier. Like it took me a while to use it finally, but now that I have tried it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I love it. I'm gonna be taking this Grateful blush by Rare Beauty on a Morphe M202 brush. And because I'm a little scared of this color, I'm gonna put this blush on the brush and kind of just like take off the excess product on the back or on the front of my hand, I guess, just to make sure that I'm not grabbing too much. And then I'm just going to tap that right onto the skin, kind of setting that liquid in place, but also making sure that it's placed in pretty much the same areas as I put the liquid. And yeah, this is like a perfect match, and it's definitely gonna help blend this under eye together because it kind of looks a little funky with just the powder, the under eye powder, with no powder blush. So once the powder blushes there, it definitely kind of brings it all together. And I'm going to also grab the under eye powder brush and just sweep across the edges of the blush just to make sure that it's all flowing together. For brows, I'm going to be using the Morphe Nano Brow Pencil. This is their 0.9 milliliter tip for hair-like strokes brow pencil, and it retails for $11. And because I am growing out my brows, I do want more of a fluffy brow look. So I'm just gonna be brushing them upward. I'm honestly not going to care too much how my brows end up looking because they kind of look crazy regardless. But I'm just gonna brush them up with the spoolie. And I'm just going to softly fill them in. And now I'm going to take the Rare Beauty Brow Harmony Flexible Lifting Gel. This retails for $19. Water-based gel, flexible and strong hold, cake-resistant finish, and waterproof. So I absolutely love this brow gel, you guys. It's just so good. And I'm just going to do, I normally do like a kind of laminated brow look, but I'm gonna go for a fluffy brow look today. So I'm just gonna brush this through the brows. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit of a laminated brow, like kind of comb them down a little bit more. And I love that this product also dries matte. So even though they look shiny right now, they're gonna dry matte. And for a little bit of eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the Morphe Brushes Chroma Plus Eyeshadow Palette in the style Flickering Sands, which is more of like a warm, neutral, everyday eyeshadow palette. And this retails for $21. It's a 12 pan palette with shimmers and mattes. This is probably one of my favorites because it's like a warm neutral. Like, of course, who doesn't like warm neutrals, you know? So I'm going to go in, I think, first with just this shade here. I'm not gonna really go crazy with the eyeshadow today. Taking that on a EXO Cosmetics 108 brush, I'm just gonna add this to the crease just to add a smidge of color, but nothing like too crazy. I'm gonna take that same color on a Morphe M382 brush, and I'm gonna just smudge that underneath here. And for the inner corner of the eye, I'm going to take this color here and just on a fluffy brush. This is a Morphe M514. And I'm just going to put this in the inner corner just to brighten it a bit. Now for eyeliner, I'm going to be using the NYX Cosmetics Epic Ink Waterproof Liquid Liner in the shade Brown. This retails for $10. It's waterproof, smudge proof, so pigmented, and it has a brush tip liner instead of a felt tip. I personally love brush tip liners. They're my go-to. And I love this liner in particular. I am obsessed with it. It's like one of my favorites for sure. I'm gonna be using it in brown just so that I have a more subtle approach so that it's not as harsh as a black liquid liner. I am gonna do a wing liner, but nothing like too crazy. So I'm gonna start actually with the wing part. Now I'm going to be using the Trixie Cosmetics All The Way Natural Finish Setting Spray. Just going to give it a nice shake and spray this all over my face. Wow, that looks really pretty as it's drying down. The powder is just kind of like melted all together. And I love when a setting spray or a finishing spray just helps everything kind of melt everything together, the powders, because I know the powders can like look really dry and really harsh sometimes, but I just know that, you know, the right spray will definitely help melt everything together so it all flows and looks cohesive. For lashes, I'm going to be using the EXO Cosmetics lashes in the style Natural Babe, which is just a really nice wispy lash. nothing crazy. And to apply them, I'm going to be using the EXO Cosmetics Lash Glue, which retails for $10, and then the lashes retail for $14. You can get 10% off with my special code. My code is TOSH with 3 H's, so TASHHH. And I'm just going to be getting my lashes ready. So what I like to do is definitely just like measure them to make sure that they fit me properly, or if even sometimes I like to do like a little half lash moment. I don't like to use like the whole lash. So I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually trim it a bit just because I don't want to use the whole entire lash. I do want to use just like the ends of them, and then after that I will apply the glue onto the strip. While my lashes are drying a little bit, I'm going to be using the Ane Beauty Lovely Lashes Waterproof Mascara. It retails for $20, and it is great for fine straight lashes, and it's also lengthening. And my lashes, they're not straight, but they are kind of fine and shorter. So I definitely need to try this without falsies one day, but I'm going to be putting this on my bottom lashes first. Last but not least, I need a good lip to finish off this look, so I'm going to be using the new MAC Cosmetics lip combo in collaboration with JT. Now, these products are nothing new to MAC, but they are, you know, JT's lip combo, so we're going to be using this today to finish off the look. Now, this lip combo in collaboration with JT with MAC Cosmetics is retailed for $52. It has the lip liner Chestnut, the Maximal Silky Matte Lipstick in the color Snob, and the lip gloss in Clear. And inside it comes with this little card with JT and MAC, and then the lip kit. Starting with a lip pencil in the shade Chestnut, I'm gonna just line my lips. Now taking the Snob lipstick, such a pretty bold pink color. Put this right into the center. Taking the lip liner Chestnut, I'm just going to blend this into the lipstick. Now going in with the MAC lip gloss in Clear. I absolutely love this lip combo by JT in collaboration with MAC. It's absolutely stunning. I know that my blush is kind of orangey red and this lip is pink, but for some reason I just love it together. Usually I would match my lip with my blush, you know, pink on pink, but this kind of look, honestly, I don't mind it. I am obsessed. I love JT down. So I could not wait to try this lip combo. I actually was on vacation when this had dropped, and I knew MAC was gonna send it to me, but I was like, dang, now I gotta wait until I get back from vacation. But luckily, you know, she was in the mail, and I'm so happy that I got it. Okay guys, this is the finished look. I absolutely love the way that this came out. Everything that I used today worked out really well. I honestly have really no complaints. I mean, it honestly looks no different than my usual routine. I really love the finish of the Benefit Cosmetics foundation. I feel like it looks really, really good. Like, I feel like it looks like full coverage. I feel like it's more of a medium to full coverage foundation. I really, really love it, and I'm obsessed. Love this blush. I think I will definitely start doing blush like this, where it kind of like leads into the eyeshadow. Like, it's just so pretty to me. But overall, I really love the look in general. All the products I loved as well. I really have no like particular notes. Some of these products I tried, yes, for the first time, so I will still need like a few, you know, trials to really understand how I feel. But honestly, like, I loved everything for the first time, and I'm obsessed with this look, and I love the lip by JT. Even though it's pink and I usually match my blushes together, I still like it together. Like, this feels like me, like extra and different and not so, you know, structured or by the rules, right? So that's just how I like to do makeup anyway. But I really love how this looks. Thank you guys so much for watching if you stayed this far, and I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.